Dear beloved Creator of all that is, Creator of all that is within, residing within each of us is that part of you, as we are co-creators of our reality, and we acknowledge and give gratitude for our increasing awareness of this truth. In acknowledging this truth, we ask that this awareness permeate all that we do in all of our waking moments, in your service. In so doing, we are here to acknowledge service to other rather than service to self. We choose to no longer rely, depend, or vacate to the creation the ogres want from us in their programming and their darkness. Rather, now awakened, we recognize and act according to the beneficent, wondrous co-creators as you intended. And we are here to acknowledge our actions in that service to other always contains the prime directive of beneficent service for all that is goodly and godly. By creating cohesion and heartful resonance with one another in this higher purpose and from our higher selves, we claim our sovereignty as the beautiful mind and body and spirit beings created by you in your image. And in doing so, we choose to use this lifetime to revindicate, restore, and refresh our common laws and take back our responsibilities of self-governance and self-responsibility so gradually lost so long ago. We gather here then, ready and willing to do and act, well armed with inner standing and standing freely as a force of your grace and divine love as our shield. And so it is.
Hello, my name's Ron Vroman. I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. I'm here with the short one. Robert Graves, Bobby Graves, is our marshal for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. He came to us with Daryl and Sue, and we talked, and there was several of us in Salem, Brandon, Cynthia, Charlie, and I. And there was no divisions. The only division was caused by Anna. And many of the people in her assembly couldn't see that at that particular time or for a while. And apparently they all have it figured out now. And I'm going to do my very best to help the rest of them figure it out. We still have to get a Congress assembled. But in any case, and I said that again, after the grand jury yesterday and after being excluded from the Marco Hatfield building, 5 of us went for lunch, and it was a late lunch, and I had clam chowder, a big bowl of clam chowder, and it had 10 clams in it anyhow, and you have to dig them out of the shell, the little ritual. It was fun, and I enjoyed it, and the bread was delicious. And Bobby and I got into a conversation. The guy is so well read, and just not everything I know, he knows, and a whole lot more. So I can never get one up on him, if you know what that game is. I say to him something like one time, I'd like to talk with Cliff High. And he said, we went to meeting, we had an appointment in Washington, and he never showed. Yep. Bobby was ahead of me again. I didn't even know Cliff High existed till Charlie told me about him. But we were talking about jurisdiction and the real jurisdiction, and we have it figured out right down to a gnat's ass on what is original jurisdiction and it is without rebuttal. And I'd like to lay the story down clearly and concisely, and I think with no error. There's several on the call, so they'll correct me if I do make an error, I'm sure. All of the arguments that I hear are almost always about stuff that doesn't count. People want to get off in the weeds and argue about all kinds of things that has no bearing on the situation, but they're hung up on it. They they got into this through that channel. The mother bears and watching out for child protection, or lose your home to foreclosure and find out about it that way, or come in through immigration and find out. But we all get our bell rung and find out what's going on, and some of us dig a lot deeper than others. But the knowledge of what's going on, the part that separates, that's where the key is. And finding out how to motivate those people to take action when their ox is not being gored is really difficult work. When we were in there yesterday, Bobby's our marshal, and he's there in uniform, and he has his marshal's badge on, and he's been into that building many times as our marshal. So if he was representing something of ill repute or without authority, do you think the U.S. Marshals would allow him in their marshal's office with our marshal's badge on? They would rebut that if it was not true. It was right there in their face, and they know his name, and it really holds true in my mind. They they cannot combat it. They cannot confront the truth. And to get to the truth, that's the hard part and the key. Damn, it's hard. The truth is, we have to have the form of government under the Confederation and Perpetual Union's Constitution. That group, the United States of America's Congress assembled, that group has to reassemble to have a constitutional Republican form of government that is guaranteed, starting with the Declaration of the 13 Colonies and moving on until we got color of law, and finally martial law, and then what they call it, the recovery, or the something or other in the South. And they pretend like the Reconstruction Act, they pretend like the Reconstruction Act is over with. But what they've done is the same thing on each and every one of the 33 states. And they change their operation on the territories. Now, here's a small, very curious aside. When you look up the online published statehood documents for Colorado, which became a state way late after the the war between the states. I forget the year, but they published it. And 13 Tona, Titles of Nobility, is there published online in Colorado's statehood documents. Now they're doing everything that they can, every place that they can, to eradicate the original 13th Amendment. But there it is, published in Colorado's statehood documents on the internet. I digress. We have to populate the several states. And to do that, you have to have a lawful, legitimate government. On Oregon, we have a provisional government. It meets all the requirements. And every other state, commonwealth, and territory has to do the same thing. They have to do the work of returning their state, whether it's a commonwealth or a territory. They have to go through the work of returning it to a de jure form of government. Each one will have a flip date. Or Nevada has one November 8th, 19. Nevada. Boy, I was born there. Oregon's is November 8th, 1910. Nevada's not a state. Nevada's a bogus territory still. So's West Virginia. But I digress. We have to get to original jurisdiction to find law so that you can be in law and not color of law, not in de facto. We cannot go with what Anna wants to go with and others want to go with is another form of a de facto constitution. We'll fix everything but this little part over here and don't look at it. No, not going there. Going to go back to de jure, the part where it says legal and legitimate, true. That's where we have to go, and we have to populate. Now, according to all the documents, every time a representative meets in Washington District of Columbia, they're actually supposed to be meeting as one of the members of the Confederation and Perpetual Unions Congress, which they are already one of. And they chose to take that mantle with them over to the United States Congress, senator or rep for their state. And there was 13 of them, but 13 didn't make it there. Only 12 did. They brought the 13th one on later, and that repaired the Perpetual Union again. And the Perpetual Union wrote a constitution, and the Constitution guaranteed all those in the Perpetual Union of a constitutional Republican form of government. It doesn't make any difference all of the different ways they wanted to write that when they were writing it. None of that counts. What counts is what actually made it into the document. What they thought or what their mother thought has nothing to do with it. What they wrote down and didn't use doesn't count. But what we have is what's written down. And that part has to be held each and every time. Otherwise, you get what we got from Lincoln. So, the 22 states that make up a quorum of the 33 states needs to meet in a Congress assembled under the Electoral College rules. That's the the key to this, in my estimation, is when they meet as a Congress assembled, they can decide who the president is if they are an electoral college. And as they are Congress assembled, they can damn well make themselves the electoral college and elect a president right then. It's not popular vote. So that's what I wanted to get across. I wanted to be in a short video. Charlie will put a good prayer on it. And if I can get this out to the people in assemblies to form a Jural assembly and get the paperwork done so that you will be the provisional government of your state, just exactly as it says in your state constitution and the United States of America's Constitution. It's not difficult. You read it, you do it, and it's done. Takes 30 days. We can get this job done lawfully and legitimately. And now that Anna's whole group is blowing up, hopefully, maybe we can get the 5 or 7 people in every state to just do the paperwork. Get it done, and in 30 days they'll acquiesce, and we will have Congress assembled. And I yield. Anybody got anything they'd like to add?
I do.
Go
You know,
ahead.
I have to look at our website again. Um, I'm thinking that because you're calling to arms right now, that we need to make it a little bit clearer where to get the instructions on how to do it. You know, there's videos. Maybe there is a way that we can do bullets. One, do this, do that, do that. I mean, we're looking at timing, and we want to move this along. So, what do you think, William? Is it organized now for anybody? They go under documents. I have to play with the site. I'm wondering if we could put a box on the face of our website
We already got a box there.
about
There's,
this.
no, whatever text is in there, I imagine it can be changed. There's a box there. Say, click here and go to. Charlie's got a really well written Jural packet. And if they will actually start, 6 of them fill out that 1-page document and form a social compact, those 6 will 15 hours of work and it's done, except for $50 in postage and buy a seal. It's not difficult.
So no, I understand that, but is it clear? Is it clear?
Yeah.
This is where you go. This is where you start.
Oh,
Um,
well, yeah, it is. It is that clear. It
okay,
is. You have to start, and you can't do anything until 6 or 5 do the start. And there's the document to do the start. So
okay,
whatever else they're doing, if they can get 5 or 6 together, they've got to start. And then each one's going to be different.
yeah. It has to be adjusted to their state or province or whatever uh,
Yeah.
territory.
Yeah,
Okay,
they hunt down a Ron, a Charlie, a William, a Laura, a Tanya, and they got it.
yeah.
Yep.
Lydia, are you finding it that way? Not to put you on the
Finding
spot.
the package? No, finding the package that way?
No, a collection of people and
Collection of people. That's where the problem happens.
yeah.
we still got people that don't think things are going wrong or went wrong. So trying to get people together, the only way that would work is if you could light a big fire under their butt.
I understand. We have it here too. Do you live here
Yeah.
too?
No, I'm in North Dakota
I know. I'm
with
making a
the
joke.
Looney Tune cowboy that's trying to run for president.
Which one?
Burgum. He says he's our governor, but we do not claim him.
I get it. Oh my God. It's the people. How do we wake them up?
Yep. I'm
I
going
don't
to
know. I
close
keep
this.
poking him.
Please do. Give my best to Coach. I'm going to close this out now.
Okay. Thank you all.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. And then he jumps out of the car. And he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, just shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, shot him 3 more times.